This is the story of Michael McIntyre in Sacramento, California, when he was shot and killed by police on May 8, 2017. What happened was on Monday, May 8, 2017, at around 2:30 p.m., Michael's mother and cousin called the police and reported that Michael was acting bizarre and needed medical attention at their Rosemont home. Michael and his mother then had a dispute in the parking lot of a retail area near Zinfandel Drive and Highway 50. More calls were then made claiming someone was being beaten and choked. After the police arrived on the scene, Michael did not follow commands and proceeded to run through traffic away from the officers, ending up at the Red Roof Inn parking lot where he struck an officer with a rock. Some officers fired shots at Michael as he was running before and after the assault on the deputy. The incident ended under the overpass of Highway 50, where two more officers shot at Michael. Sacramento County Sheriff's deputies shot and killed Michael after firing around 28 rounds at Michael and being struck by 7 of them. Michael later then died at the hospital. The people who were involved in the shooting of Michael McIntyre were Michael McIntyre, an African male who was 32 years old, Bridget McIntyre, Michael's mother, Danielle Wilson, who was Michael's cousin, at least 3 Sacramento County Sheriff's deputies who fired the combined 28 shots at Michael, the paramedics who evaluated McIntyre earlier in that day, and the witnesses at the parking lot where the dispute took place where Michael was said to have been assaulting his mother. The incident occurred in Sacramento County, California, the city of Rancho Cordova. The first team was at the McIntyre residence in Rosemont, where EMTs and sheriff deputies checked on Michael for his mental health. Deputies then arrived at a retail complex near Zinfandel Drive and Highway 50, and eventually chased Michael through traffic along Highway 50. One deputy and Michael also fought in the parking lot of a Red Roof Inn across the street where Michael struck the deputy with a rock. The chase ended on Highway 50, under the Zinfandel overpass. The fatal killing of Michael McIntyre took place on May 8, 2017, between the times of 2:30 and 7 p.m. What caused this incident taking place was Michael was having a mental breakdown due to the custody battle with the mother of his son, while also dealing with his grandmother soon undergoing heart surgery. Earlier that month, Michael went to a psych hospital to be evaluated for his strange behavior, and the doctor said he did not qualify for any illnesses. He and his mom, Bridget, were tussling over the keys in the car, and she yelled for help. Someone in the parking lot called the police because they thought Michael was choking her, although Bridget said he did not physically harm her. When the police began to approach the vehicle, Michael got out of the car and began to flee the scene. While police chased after him, Michael began to throw rocks at the officers. The officers then released their canine to Michael, which he also threw a rock at and injured the dog. Police then began to shoot at Michael. The first cop shot at him twice, the second 8 times, and the third cop 18 times. Michael was shot 7 times in the back, head, arm, and both of his legs. This led to Michael dying that very same day in the hospital. Maybe the shooting could have been justified by saying that this man was dangerous. He attacked a police dog and an officer, so the police could have felt like their lives were in danger and trying to protect anyone else from getting hurt. They also have attributed his death to mental state, saying they did not know what he could have done and would have done. As a group, we all thought about, what could have prevented it, and the things that came up were, if Michael did not run from the police, upon arrival, it would have lessened the chance of the police, deeming him as violent and dangerous. The incident would have not escalated so quickly. This eventually, could have saved his life in the end. Michael was viewed as a threat when he began throwing rocks at the law enforcement. If he hadn't done that, he probably would have been arrested, rather than shot at. Now, yes, it was very wrong that he was throwing rocks, but again, we also as a group think that it was very unethical for the police to shoot at him just for throwing rocks at them. We as a group believe this happened because the police felt threatened by Michael. He was throwing rocks at them as well as the canines. Michael also took off running when he saw them coming towards him, which just led to more suspicion, towards him from the police. We believe this happened because Michael did have a breakdown, and the police already had the notion that he was violent. Um, when the officers arrived, he fled, which arose even more suspicion that he was guilty of something. We also believe this happened because maybe the paramedics did not take his mental state seriously when they evaluated him earlier, when his family said he was having a breakdown. So this just caused just more and more issues, throughout this whole situation. It just shows that everything needs to be taken serious, or mistakes will happen, unethical behavior will happen. Again, an example right here of unethical behavior would be the paramedics not taking his mental state seriously. This eventually led to him being shot and killed by the police. It just shows that every little thing counts, at the end of the day. We as a group believe Michael McIntyre's case was very unethical by the police. Um, they really need to think about these questions. Was race an issue, or did the police really think their lives were in danger? Because everyone on the outside believes that it was very unnecessary shooting Michael McIntyre. For example, he was just throwing rocks. It's not like he had a gun pulled out on the police. He wasn't, threatening their lives. They shouldn't have felt like their lives were at threat. He was announced as violent, but obviously, someone who's throwing rocks, wouldn't use that as a first object to threaten someone's life with. If he had a gun, he would have shot them. He would have shot at them. His first resort won't be rocks and then a gun. It would just be the gun. Now, the police really need to ask themselves, why they shot him, if their lives really were in danger, because it really was not necessary to shoot Michael. He did not deserve that, even though he was throwing rocks.